Flo Hyman was probably the most generous, the kind. Ari would have to yell at her all the time and say, Ruth, go get your player, because she would stay after and sign autographs. And she was, if you ask her if she was good, she was very humble. And when she was inducted into the University of Houston Hall of Honor, it was after her death. I said a comment and I said, Flo Hyman, because she was in my volleyball class and she got mad because she got a C in my volleyball class. And she said she got writer's cramp because my test was too hard. But she made a comment and I said, Flo, and she says, Ruth, if you say I'm the best player in the world, why do I have to practice? And that showed her humor and her really love for the sport. She was in the movies. She was going to start doing that. And people remember in 1984 was the first time the U.S. women ever won a medal. And I think we talk about history, people forget about history. But you've got those players in 64 and 68 were the first Olympic teams, 80 boycott, 84 silver medal, and everything that was laid as a foundation. And today we must bow our heads and say happy birthday to Flo Hyman, because she would be 70 years old today. And what an appropriate and timely talk that we are having today about Flo Hyman. I received that call at 2:00 in the morning from one of her former Olympic teammates, Rose Majors. And she said to me, she said, are you sitting down? And I said, you know what time it is here? It's 2:00 in the morning. She said, Flo just died. And I said, what? And then immediately, you could go on TV. Of course, we didn't have internet then. So after 300 phone calls letting people know about her death, and you think now, all the Olympic Committee testing. We were in 1975, the Pan American Games, and we were out in the heat. And she used to get hot and sweaty and, out in opening ceremonies. And you think of all the tests. I know she had gone to a university hospital when she was in high school because they said she kept growing. And things had happened. And, it's not like putting things together. And because the match was very intense, she was playing for Daiei department stores. And she had been with them along with Rita Crockett, who was also a starter in the 1984 Olympic team. And she passed out. Boy, they're still playing. And all of a sudden, everybody's saying she had a heart attack. And so then you come back and then all of a sudden, like 3 to 6 months later, basically you don't hear Marfan, you hear a weakening of the aorta valve, which in most cases, now you can do all this preliminary testing. And I mean, you look at people, look at the size of women's volleyball players, 6'8", 6'7", whereas Flo was the tallest at that particular time. And if people would just really throw up a red flag and say, do a Marfan syndrome detection to find out if you are one of those candidates, because there are many people that I know for a fact have had surgery because they detected this early enough. So what the Marfan Foundation has done, you think of this, she would have been 70 years old, 1986. She died at age 31. Think of if these players would have had this early detection methods and tests that they could do. Think of how many more people could possibly continue on their sports career or at least live a healthy life. Early detection.